high point of the day as we speak. Deven Choksey is with us of KRChoksey. Hi, Deven. Good afternoon. Just an hour or so before we go in for that long weekend. But tell us, what's your view on the real estate space? Sonal just told us, cooling off of interest rates or no further increases, that will be helpful because your EMI is not going to go up then drastically. What's your sense? How do you approach the space, the real estate stocks?
Hi, Nigel. Good afternoon. Well, as we gather, the March-ended results are likely to be better for some of the listed players, particularly those who are operating into the premium segment. Most of the real estate companies are confirming that they've had a good period in the March quarter. So from immediate point of view, I think the results are likely to be better as far as I think the quarterly outcome is concerned on some of the listed real estate companies. Going forward, also the demand scenario remains pretty comfortable as we gather, particularly from the premium segment, where the amount of money is available to be spent, and I think that is where probably some of the large realtors are concentrating at this point of time in executing their projects. So from demand scenario 2, I think the situation looks, I think, comfortable in the current year as it was, I think, in the last year. More importantly, if the rate hike is not taking place, or it may be, I think, for the timing if it is halted, I would think that would be a good breather for most of the companies per se. And that's where probably I think would like to believe that I think they would continue to show relatively better uptick on sales as well as I think the margins continuing for them. So overall, I think the view remains same. I don't think that major things have changed. But the fact is that I think if the rate hike is not happening in the near future, probably it will allow them to stabilize more.
Take your point. The big question again, Deven, being whether the rate hike has been paused for now or it will at some point re-emerge. The other part, and this relates with the rate hike and the rate sensitives itself, are all the NBFCs. I mean, during the rate up moves cycle, we saw the NBFCs underperform drastically because they would obviously be disadvantaged as compared to their banking counterparts. But today, the fact that there has been a pause has heaved a sigh of relief across the board. We're seeing big moves on whatever NBFC you look at right now. Do you think they've turned a corner and maybe they warrant a fresh look, even if there is no more than 1 or 2 rate hikes in the near future?
So, Mangalam, for sure, I think most of these NBFCs, the likes of HDFC, LIC Housing Finance, or even Bajaj Housing Finance, the larger players, they are largely, I think, having a better time as we see it, as far as I think the offtake of credit is concerned. Even in the last year too, I think most of these NBFCs which I mentioned, they've been able to generate a growth of around 20% or so in the AUM. So from that point of view, demand scenario is becoming absolutely clear. And I believe that I think this is likely to continue even in the current year. However, I think the margin point which you raised, I believe that I think most of them have got the ability to raise money at a competitive cost, I would say. And as a result of which, at least I think that these names which I have mentioned, which we track closely, I believe they have the ability to raise money at a competitive price. So for them, the NIM is protected. So on one side, 20% kind of the average growth continuing into the AUM. On the other side, NIM is protected. I would believe that I think in a nervous or negative market sentiment that we have, some of these companies are available at a corrected valuation. So that would possibly suggest a case for investing into the portfolio at lower levels. We believe the housing demand continues, and I think the credit uptake on housing will continue going forward as well.
Okay, Deven, stay with us. The market's up, 50 points, 17,600 plus once again. We are back with Deven. More stock discussion on the other side.